Hi everyone, this is the coaching experience coach to coach conversation. Today I brought you Lynn, and she is a grief and joy coach. Welcome, Lynn.
Thank you.
If you could just briefly introduce yourself and then tell us why coaching.
Okay, so hello, my name's Lynn Holman, and like you said, I'm a grief and joy coach. And yeah, I came into this because I did a bit of kind of grief counselling in the past. I'm a qualified nurse. I have been for 13 years, and the whole coaching system seemed to really suit me in my sort of qualities as a person. I think I'm a very good listener, and I like to kind of sort of look into people's lives and what's going on and how things could be improved and assist them to find ways themselves to better their life and have a better experience in the whole of life's journey. So I sort of went into grief and joy because prior to being a nurse, I was a bereavement counsellor, and counselling is great for people that require that skill set. But I felt I was a bit more of a not challenge, but sort of a bit more assertive. I wanted to see people to actually progress through their experience and their journey with their grief. And I find that coaching is a little bit more sort of encourages people to be assertive with their life. They have we almost act like people that hold them to account for what's going on. And I think a lot of people in the world feel that they hold no accountability to others and themselves mostly. So the whole coaching, because it's a little bit more direct and sort of goal setting, and you have takeaways for the next week. It's a little bit more assertive, a little bit more kind of coactive, I suppose. You're kind of actively doing and seeking in life. So
Yes,
yeah.
it's interesting that you chose grief and joy. So
Yeah.
how we can imagine, let's say, the grief coaching with
hmm
you,
Yeah.
and after that, I'm very interested in how you coach towards the joy as
Yeah.
well.
So the grief coaching aspect of it is, I suppose, grief, to start with the definition, is really, it's a loss of some kind. You experience a loss, and that loss could be a person, a pet. It could be financial security. It could be your
Mm-hmm.
home. It could even be as simple as like children leaving the nest. You grieve the fact that they're not little anymore. And they're these adults. Sort of grief is loss of expectation. There's a lot of kind of expectations in the world, and sometimes people might get let down by that. So they do go through this grief process. So
Mm-hmm.
grief is really the process that humans go through when they've lost something.
Okay.
And so mine's is very much, I think, the way we live in the world today, this sort of fast action society, plus the news that we watch, the amount of like awful news that's going on around the world, it's important that people recognise that everybody's potentially on that grieving process spectrum somewhere along the journey. It's
100%. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And actually, in coaching, it's very important. It's very, very important to specify what the word mean
yeah,
for me, for you, for others.
yeah,
Because when you said grief coaching, I just instantly felt, okay, losing someone.
yeah.
But you just explained it could be so many other things. Grief coaching is losing something, someone in your life,
hmm
and just manage it and get positive outcome with the
yeah.
help of you, for example. Great.
Absolutely, yeah. So I suppose it's important when people come to me to recognise what that loss has been and where they are at in this present moment, and looking at how they want to better their lives and how they want to kind of move on with things. I mean, moving on, you don't really move on. That's something that's really important in grief coaching, is that you recognise that it's an adjustment. It's not something, I mean, we all hear it, and culture perceives this idea, oh, you haven't got over it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you ever get over. It's something that sort of becomes part of your life, and you adjust and you
Mm-hmm.
change to manage yourself and your emotions and the loss and the grief experience that you're having.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
so cope with it and
Mhm.
just let's say, as you said, you won't ever get over
Mm-hmm.
but you can heal somehow and deal
Yeah.
with the feeling
Yeah.
in a better way.
Yeah.
And tell me something about the joy coaching,
Yeah.
because I chose joy as part of my coaching as well.
Mhm.
I'm extremely interested in what joy coaching means to you.
Yeah, so joy coaching, I suppose the word joy is having those sort of peaceful sense of lovely emotional happiness, smiley facey kind of moments in your life. And, it's not something that we consistently have again. Emotions are forever changing. But joy is all about understanding yourself and what makes you a joyous person, what experiences you witness that are joyous feelings, bring joyous feelings to yourself, like for instance, I love going out and taking a walk in the forest and listening to the birds, and even
Yeah.
by being by the sea and hearing the ocean, and that just brings me such a lovely warm kind of peaceful feeling inside, and that to me is joy. That's yeah, many moments like that, plus having family members round for a meal and seeing their smiley faces,
Hmm.
it's experiences like that really do bring a kind of warmth to your heart,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I chose the two, like you say, the two sort of opposite ends of emotions,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I find that in my experience and people that I've coached, finding grief within joy can be sorry, finding joy within grief
Yes.
can be a very very difficult process. There's a lot of guilt that can come with grief, and to be happy, to be joyful through their process can be a real sort of wrenching feeling for them that they're not allowed, kind of
Mhm.
thing. So joy coaching is all about recognizing their self-care, their self-love, a bit of self-compassion, and allowing yourself to be happy,
Yes.
and even though that, like for years after, and I still do as well, I cry at weddings, and it's this idea that, why are you crying? It's such a happy event. But it's just that it's such a beautiful, joyous occasion that it just brings such emotion to me that releasing tears is the way I express it, it's kind of, so I think it's enjoy again is something maybe people have different definitions of. So
Yes.
yeah, but I think honouring where people are and recognising sort of gratitude in their life. I always promote sort of gratitude, kind of like, I don't like the word journaling, but to have a gratitude diary of some kind, something to write down, and just recognise what's in your life that is
Hmm.
really working for you, really serving you well as a person. That's, I think, very important as part of it.
Oh, very, very much. Personal journal helped me a lot
Yeah.
because I don't know how you see the coaching experience, but I went and I learned to be a coach. But first and foremost, I did it for myself. It really, really helped me to see my surroundings, my life in a totally different way.
Hmm.
And since then I'm enjoying,
Hmm.
and I choose to be happy and live the fullest every day than
Yeah.
waste even one day of my life.
Yeah.
So this is just great. And you said grief, joy, but if people go to you, how many sessions you have with them, or how long they can work with you, what sort of packages or different scenarios they can choose from.
Well, I think one thing in there that's really important to recognise is that grief is a very personal journey. It's very much um, individual experience. As much as we have all the books that say, you go through these 5 emotions in grief and all these kind of things. I mean, there are a lot of truth in that, but ultimately it is very much a personal journey. So my coaching style and what I offer clients is that a very personal journey. I mean,
Mhm.
I might have somebody that comes to me that feels they're managing their grief process fairly well, and they just have maybe a few issues, like something's come up, like Christmas is looming, and they maybe have an issue with family members that they're not coping with, so they just
Yeah.
want a few sessions just to focus on that, to work through how to express themselves, communicate, and I suppose ultimately find out what they really want, because, it's like you say, it has to come from, your own personal understanding of yourself,
Yes.
and if, as long as we're balancing how we are as people with how we're interacting with the world, then that makes us far more peaceful, and we get such greater experience out of life as well when we do that. So there may be somebody that just comes for a few sessions, and then there's people that come for maybe longer sessions. But ultimately, what I do is I kind of offer them in sessions in a bundle of four, because four sessions are really a kind of good amount to get to know each other and start to work on things. And yeah, so, and if people want to keep continuing, like I have some young ladies that are have been to me for certain things, and now they're a bit ad hoc as they're going through their own process. We've done the initial sessions knowing each other, and now they just maybe pick up on me sort of once a month. There's a wee tap in, check in how they're getting on, and anything sort of comes up for them they can discuss. So yeah, I think it's nice to have that framework, but actually, grief is, very
Yeah.
personal. So I
Yes.
very much will scale it to what the person requires, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
really like that you said that couple of people just come back to you, check in. It's really making a connection, a deep connection with your clients as well. So it's just great what you do, and they really, as you said, feel that they share something personal with you
Mhm.
and appreciate your work,
Yeah.
and next time come back to you. We all have great and memorable moments. Meanwhile, we go through the coaching experience as a client or as a coach. What was yours, the most memorable one so far?
With clients, well, I think I suppose there's been a few, but what I love is seeing people's faces, when they have those moments of insight about themselves, their face. It's almost like this realization kind of comes over their faces, and they
Yeah.
truly start to understand themselves. It's like that breakthrough moment,
Yeah.
and then I suppose it's an ending in a way, but I really do enjoy when you've had been on this part of this, and I'm honored to be on part of their journey with them. And when they get to that moment that they might say, do you know what? I maybe take a couple of weeks off and just see how I'm getting on with this. And as much as, saying goodbye to a client is sad, and you've been part of their life for some time, but it's actually really lovely to kind of just see them fly by themselves, and
Yes.
knowing that you have assisted, you've been part of that journey, and you've kind of helped them sort of, well, they've done most of the work really, but we use our skills to assist them to get to that point. And I think it's really lovely. And those epiphany
Yeah.
moments, yeah, for me
Yeah.
are like, that's really nice.
I share the feeling with you. The best moment for me when someone comes to me, and not even by the end of the whole sessions, but end of even one session,
Mhm.
they go with full of hope,
Yeah,
smile
yeah.
on their face. I always say the real work starts
Mhm.
once we end this session,
Yeah,
because everything is up to you.
yeah,
I can help you, but the work is on you, and you need to work for your happiness to have a much more fulfilled life. We also put a lot of emphasis on values and core values. If you don't mind, would you share some of your values with
Mhm.
us?
Yeah, sure. So I suppose my top value is really self-care and self-love. I think prior to doing my coach training, I sort of didn't really spend an awful lot of time on me and how I was as a person. So thankfully, the coaching training, it made me realise that actually I am the most important person in my life, so I need to take care of me. So my value of self-care and self-love is very much about making sure I get my walks in every day. I connect with nature. I'm such a big environmentalist. I love being out with the birds and the sea, and just having moments with any kind of animals as well. I absolutely love animals. So I always make sure that is an absolute must, has to happen every day, sort of an hour just out doing my thing by myself. And then I suppose friends and family are huge to me as well. They're a big part of my life. And obviously, as human beings, we need that social connection. Um, I do yoga. I'm quite a mindful person. I love sort of doing some meditation as well. I eat well, and it's just taking care of me and knowing my boundaries. And I have
Yes.
compassion for myself. That's all part of self love and self care, is having a bit of compassion too. Um, I'm not perfect, nobody is. And it's about laughing about it or saying, oh, well, I did that wrong. Oh, well, I might learn tomorrow once I reflect on it, what the lesson is there for me, kind of thing. So I think it's
Yeah.
about having that mental attitude of compassion and love for self. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what my whole kind of, that's really important, the values to me of looking after, because I truly believe that, the greatest love you could have is for yourself, because that emanates out. And when you love yourself, then you just love everything about the world.
Yes.
You really do, care for people, treat people with complete respect and dignity and care, and I think it just flows from your being naturally when
Yes.
you've got that self-care. So that'd be one of them. There was quite a lot there, but I also, one of my other values is freedom. Um, I um, I truly believe that, like, I need to feel free as a person and not be restricted. So obviously there's certain things in life that we need. So I still nurse. I do that sort of 2 days a week, and that's just because I suppose the bills and all the basic things that need to be. And it's nice to have that social connecting and to be actually active with people as well. Um, and sort of the other time is my time. It's my freedom. It's my time to actually do as I please in life. Sort of take my hour sort of time out, and I can travel, and yeah, just having that sense of not a huge responsibility on me, I think is very important. So, freedom, yeah, freedom's about just being allowed to do what I need to do when I want to do it. So, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. You talked about self-love, self-care.
Mhm.
I talk to other coaches, other people, and somehow I feel that this is a problem or bigger problem with women. I realized through the coaching experience, actually we can't help others until and unless we are not okay with ourselves, and until and unless we just can't appreciate who we are. I never realized the importance, how much I can, thrive and I can be a better help for others once
Mhm.
I understand myself and connect myself really and truly. So, what else we can know about you outside of, your values, your coaching
Mhm.
experiences, and as a coach, how Lynn is as a
Mhm.
person?
Yeah. Well, I suppose one of the things that's quite important is, I suppose I have experienced loss, and I have taken. It's been 30 years ago. My mum died suddenly, and I was only 18 at the time, and it was absolutely horrific for me at the time. And I quickly became a mother. And I think what's important for people to understand is, I struggled finding that joy in my grief, and it's about knowing that there's other people out there. And I really enjoyed, like, have been part of groups of people that had experienced similar things to me. And I think I I really like human connection. I like listening to people's stories. I enjoy just hearing about people's experiences in life. And in nursing, I can do that. People come in and they'll tell you everything that's been going on for them, kind of thing. Yeah, and I think it's important to be just generally a good, ethical human being, and that's, I'm definitely one of them. I have my own garden. I love gardening, and we have a greenhouse, and I grow cucumbers and carrots,
Mm.
courgettes, tomatoes, anything. I mean, I'd love to live self-sufficiently, but that's not really possible. But yeah, I just love being out in nature and taking some time. I love music. I go and see theatre and dance and songs. I love, yeah,
Fantastic.
interacting with lots of cultural events that are going on in the world, kind of thing as well.
Oh, fantastic,
So yeah,
fantastic. So
hmm
you really find the joy, you
yeah,
really find how you can self-love yourself and
hmm
self-care. Um, but finally, my last question is, if you need to summarize the coaching experience and its benefit, what
hmm
would you say to people who are thinking about going to a coach and just go through in this fantastic journey?
hmm yeah. So I think I'd say to people, you know, that you're worth it. You're absolutely worth this journey, and coaching is something that is it's more transformative in my view, certainly my experience. I've done counselling and I've been through the coaching process, and I think it is far more transformative than other forms of sort of therapies, because we hold you to account, you know, and we focus on things like goals, specific goals. And we obviously do a bit of exploring as well. And if there's stuff from the past that needs to be discussed, it needs to be discussed, you know, and it's very much an open forum and a safe space for people to come. And they're very, I suppose, variable, the sessions. You know, I'm sure you find yourself, you know, one session you could work with a client and they're very much on the ball. They'll be thinking of great ideas, you know, they'll go away with amazing kind of takeaways and excitement about what they're going to do. And then other sessions they might come in and they're just really not in the right space to be chatting about things and being directive. So I think it is it's really personal to people. It's very transformative, and yeah, I think it's people need to understand that they are worth it. They are worth this process, because it teaches us to kind of be the best version of ourselves that we can be, really. And who knows what magic and amazing things can come from that, basically. So
Yeah. Yes, finally, Lynn, please tell us where people can find you who would like to just get connected with you or ask more about what you do, how you could help them.
yeah, so I have a website, and that is gracefulhealingcoach.com. And I'm currently offering a sort of free guide to grief and joy within that. It's a little PDF you download, kind of thing. And obviously, it's not all encompassing because it's such a huge area, but there's just a brief kind of snippets on how
Yeah.
to, you know, you could find more experience in your life with that. So that's my website. And on my website, that you can get in touch through email. I also have Instagram, which is graceful healing, lowercase, sort of slash coach, and that's on Instagram. And I'm also on TikTok and Facebook as well.
Oh,
So yeah, so please, I mean, feel free to drop me a message just for a chat and see if there's anything my service can offer you, basically. So
perfect. Perfect. If you
yeah,
could just share everything with me, I will link all of your details under this podcast and when I distribute it as well.
hmm
It was very lovely to talk to you, and I had a couple of more conversations already,
hmm
and it's just great to see how we want to help people and how we want to see people um, growing to
yeah,
their better selves
yeah,
and live a much more peaceful and and greater life. The last thought, I would say, please search for coaches, because um, sooner or later, 100% you will find the one who you can
hmm
connect to. And it's not one for everyone. Please just listen, ask, and be open for your journey.
yeah,
Thank you so much, Lynn.
absolutely. Thank you so much.